Hello! Hello! Welcome to my City of Ashes review. City of Ashes is the second book in the very, very popular Mortal Instruments series that came out like 100 years ago. Okay, it's more like 8 years ago, but still, it's a pretty established thing. So if you haven't heard of it, it's about this girl named Clare, whose mother was this demon hunter. They're called shadow hunters, and when she's 15 going on 16, she sees a guy get stabbed and nobody else sees this. So she enters this world of shadow hunting. She meets a bunch of awesome new friends and Jace. I'm just going to, if you have not read this series, go watch the City of Bones review that I made. It's the first book in the series. And if you're into YA and it sounds like something that you might want to read, check it out. If you haven't, just go do that. City of Ashes. City of Ashes. If you have only read City of Bones, it's okay, keep watching. This is safe. City of Ashes, spoiler free, but it is City of Bones, not spoiler free. So, City of Ashes starts off with Jace going out and picking a fight with some werewolves, and it doesn't stop from there. The pacing in this book is awesome. There is more of everything. It's like City of Bones on LSD. Everything's bigger, crazier, awesomer, except for the exposition, because we don't need that anymore. So it's just thrown out the window. We can just have crazy, awesome action. The downside to this is, like I said, everything's bigger and more, and that includes the traumatizing incest. So that's a bit of a downer, but everything else makes up for it, and it's just so much fun. And if you enjoyed City of Bones, read City of Ashes, because City of Ashes is better than City of Bones. If you read City of Bones, aren't sure whether or not you want to read City of Ashes, check out City of Ashes. It gets better. It gets awesomer. So, what did I like about City of Ashes? I liked a lot. I'm just going to start quickly with what I didn't like. There was not a lot. My biggest problem was I'm not sure how much I like Clare. I don't dislike her. I just wish that she stabbed more things, because I'm a sadist at heart, okay? Not really. But I like it when characters stab things, especially with seraph blades. Those sound really cool. I want Clare to stab things with them. But apart from that, City of Ashes was awesome. Clare was an improvement over last book. Last book, she didn't really get to do much. She was a bit of a MacGuffin almost. She had a cool personality. I liked her personality. It was relatable. It seemed real for a 15, almost 16-year-old. But she didn't do anything. And in this, she gets new powers. Everybody gets to do more cool stuff. I'm just going to go straight into spoilers because I don't know what else I can say. Clare gets these new powers where she can draw runes. She can create runes. And that's very nice. You get new powers. But at the end of the day, you're still not stabbing things. And that's what I want you to be doing. Meanwhile, do you know who stabs things? Do you know who gets cool lines? Do you know who does awesome stuff? Jace Wayland! Jace! We start off with one of his best lines so far. So, Jace has this cool line where he's just picked a fight with some werewolves, which is a bad idea. It's a stupid idea. Be smart, folks. Don't pick fights with werewolves. And so they come to find him. Luke and Clare come to find him. And I think it's Luke who tells Jace to be a man. You know, grow up. And he responds something like, I don't want to be a man. I want to be an angst-ridden teenager wallowing in their own self-pity. And it was the best line of the entire book, and probably the best Jace line so far, because it sort of subtly pokes fun at other young adult franchise things, and I really liked that. I love it when that happens. It's a little meta. Basically, Jace was the best thing about this book. He really was. We get a bit of Jace's point of view, and I love that because I ship Clare and Jace so much, even though they both are there like their brother and sister, and it's really awkward and really disturbing, and I shouldn't ship them so much, but I do. Just deal with it. So, of course, the scene in the Sealy court was my favorite. I have read some people and heard some people who are there like, oh my god, the Sealys, how could they be so bad? Like, they know what they're thinking that their brother and sister. Why do they make them kiss? Stop right there. You, I'm talking to you. Let them kiss. Do you know what? I'm a hormonal single teenager who's never really kissed a guy. God damn it, I need people to live vicariously through. I need that shit. Don't take it from me. But you go, Sealy Queen. You go, Sealy Queen. There's your imaginary crown that I gave to you for me. And then later on, we get an interesting Jace and Clare scene, which sort of shows two different ways to react to what's going on between them. And Jace is proposing that they just sort of leave. They run away. They go somewhere where nobody can find them, and they be together. He doesn't say that right out loud because he's Jace and he can't talk about his feelings that well. But that's what he's insinuating. And his entire mindset seems to be like, well, everybody else says that we're brother and sister, so that's a problem. And Clary's mindset is more like, we're saying that we're brother and sister and we're still kissing. That's our problem. You know, we can go to wherever we want. We can go to Antarctica. We will still be brother and sister in Antarctica. And he's still like, but nobody will know that we're brother and sister in Antarctica. Jeez, they're like, I would. And that's not somewhere that I want to go. It really isn't. Other stuff that I liked. Simon and Maya. I like those two together. And I'm pretty sure that Simon and Izzy are endgame. I actually don't know because I haven't read past book 3. But I really like Simon and Maya. I think that they just sort of like gel together. They work together. And not just on paper. Because on paper, in terms of like strengths and weaknesses, they make a lot of sense together. Because Simon's kind of awkward. He's a little not too good around girls. Even when he becomes a badass vampire, he's still Simon. And I love that when he became a vampire, they kept his Simon-ness and they didn't turn him into a killing machine. And Maya, meanwhile, has had some traumatic experiences with guys in the past. And Simon is just perfect for her. She's perfect for Simon. And I want them to be together. And Izzy can go find somebody else. We also get more Alec and Magnus, which I liked. I like those two together. They're really nice. Mostly I just like Magnus. He just seems so flamboyant. He seems like the sort of person that you would want to have for a best friend. I want Magnus as my best friend because I feel like we would have the most fun ever. Like, just from his clothes. I feel like just seeing him, like, hey bestie, what are you wearing today? Would be an adventure and it would be awesome. And I wasn't really a big fan of Alec in the first book. He's kind of a dick in the first book, but I liked him more in this book. I'm warming up on him, and by I'm warming up to him, I mean I was warming up to him yesterday when I read this book, because now I've gotten to the end of book 3, and I like Alec. Alec's good. I liked how Clary was sort of the one to help them escape. I didn't like the Inquisitor. I didn't like her. She was just, I mean, she's one of those characters that we're not really supposed to like because, you know, she's not that nice. But it sort of went beyond like, oh, well, you know, I don't like her because she's like getting in the way of all this stuff. And it was just sort of, how are you really this stupid? How are you really this blind? But like, it was also, I think it was one of the sort of like deeper parts of the book where you sort of explore that like, she is this blind to what's going on with Valentine for a reason. She wants it to be a certain way. And And these books are not very deep books, but I thought that that was one of the stronger bits. And I love the part where she confronts Valentine, and Valentine's there like, sure, go ahead and kill Jace. Why do I care? I don't care. And she's just sort of like, everything that she thought was just sort of like breaking around her. And she's there like, no, but he's your spy. He's your son. No, you sent him here to spy on us. And he goes, no. He turned me down. And I feel really sorry for her in that moment. And I think that Cassandra Clare did a really good job of creating this character who we don't like, but at the end we end up empathizing with her. And we find her a little sympathetic. And we feel sorry for her that everything that she thought is just sort of crashing down around her. What else did I like? The part where the Inquisitor was about to tell Jace something. Right at the end, there's this big battle and all the adult shadow hunters come in and kick some ass. I liked that the adults came to their rescue and that they were there like, we see that you guys have been telling the truth. The Inquisitor comes in, she's leading them, and she ends up fighting with Jace, and she's about to tell Jace something. And I'm there like, it's happening, she's gonna tell them that they're not related, and then Clays can get together, and it'll be awesome and wonderful, and angels will be singing, and they'll just like frolic in meadows, killing things, and then she died. No, you're not going to die. You need to get my shit together. And you just die on me? You can't do that. Die. Why? So, that was the Inquisitor. We also got to meet Maris. Yeah, no, we're told how it's pronounced. It's pronounced Maris. And they didn't really have any personality. I didn't really get a read on the language. It's like they're sort of nice, they're sort of not. I felt like they could use a little bit more fleshing out, but on the whole, not too bad. I also feel like we're sort of getting away from it feels a lot less urban fantasy. This installment felt a lot less urban fantasy because it was less sort of like, yeah, we're in New York, and more sort of like, here are all of the institutions, and I'm a little worried about going to Idris, because one of my favorite things about the series is the way that they're blending New York and the shadow world, and it's sort of fusing together. I love New York, I really do. I want to move there someday because I'm a really typical teenage girl, and I love the way that Cassandra Clare's managed to fuse them together. And I don't know, well, I do know because I've read the book, but this is me saying that back when I finished it, I didn't know how I was going to feel about Idris going there because I knew that the action of the third book took place in Idris. All in all, I really liked City of Ashes. So much fun. I liked City of Bones. Go read this. We're okay with City of Bones. Go read this. Jace, it's got Clary, it's got everything you liked about City of Bones, but more. Does have more of the traumatizing incest, but come on, we're almost at book 3, and that shit's gonna get cleared up, right? It better.